Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to be reading from Numbers chapter 5 to chapter 6. Before we do that, I would like to give shout outs to all my relatives and the people who take the time out to watch this video. Alright, now we're going to pass it on to Chloe to see what she has to say.
My name is Chloe, and I hope you have a good day. If it's not a good day, it's going to get better.
And who you passing the mic to, Chloe?
Ethan.
Okay, so introduce Ethan the right way.
I am Ethan. I'm going to be reading Numbers chapter 5 to 6. Chapter 5. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, and everyone that hath an issue, and whose.
We cannot hear you, Ethan.
Chapter 5. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, and everyone that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead, both male and female shall ye put out. Without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so, and put them out without the camp. As the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit my sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof.
Where you reading from, Ethan?
Chapter 5.
Verse?
7.
Okay, so I want you to start back over from verse 5.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against him he hath trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass, But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass, until let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. And every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's hollow thing shall be his. Whatsoever man giveth the priest, it shall be his. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man go aside and commit a trespass against him, and the man lie with a carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, there be no witness against her. Neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, he be jealous of his wife, and she not be defiled.
Where you at, Ethan?
I'm at 14. Your Bible is different.
Okay, bring it back to 13.
And a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither should be taken with the manner. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled of the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put.
Bring it back to 14 from top.
And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the tenth part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take and put it on the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is jealousy offering, and the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse.
Ethan, read back over from 19.
And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no woman have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to the uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman.
Stop choking the mic, Ethan. Can I hear you?
Then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, and the Lord doth make thy to rot, and the belly to swell. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly to swell, and thy to rot. And the woman shall say...
Bring it back from 21. And the reason why I'm telling you to bring it back is because your reading is not clear. I want clarity.
Then the priest shall charge the woman...
Hold the mic closer to your mouth so we can hear you.
Then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy to rot, and thy belly to swell. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, and this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly to swell, and thy to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall weep the offering before the Lord, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar. Afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that, if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a cursing among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy. This is the law of jealousies, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, and when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guilty from iniquity, and this woman shall be Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. Chapter 6. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of Nazareth, to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. All days of the vow of his separation there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled in the which he has separated himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of his hair of his head grow. All the days that he separate himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father or for his mother, for his brother or for his sister, when they die, because the consecration of his God is upon his head. All the days of separation he is holy unto the Lord. And if any man die very suddenly of him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall give his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other half for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him. Atonement for him. For that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And this is the law of the Nazarite when the days of his separation are fulfilled. He shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall offer his offering unto the Lord. 1 lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and 1 ram without blemish for a peace offering, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meat offering, and their drink of offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall take the sudden shoulder of the ram, and 1 unleavened cake out of the basket, and 1 unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. This is holy for the priest, with the wave breast and heave shoulder. And after that the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation. Beside that, his hand shall get according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the law of his separation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On his wise he shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and make be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance. So I was right. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. That was reading of Numbers chapter 5 to chapter 6.
I like to go first.
Go ahead, Aaron. Take the mic.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's a great reading. What I really liked about it was that when they said, then it's on chapter 5, verse 7, then they shall confess their sins which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. So what that kind of speaks to me is that you committed a sin, right? And then you committed a sin, and then you have done, and then you think about it after a while. Like you thought about how you created a sin and how big it was, and then you try to ask God for forgiveness. So that's why I thought it was about like asking God for forgiveness. So that's why I thought chapter 5 was about forgiveness and how to get from God.
So all the sins that you do, you come to God and ask Him for forgiveness.
Yeah, but it make no sense if you're just gonna do it again. So that's why I said you think about it. You think how large of a sin it was. You think about it, and then after you thought about it, you'll be able to like realize how to end up not doing that same sin again.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
Makes sense. I have nothing to say about that. Makes sense. Okay, let me hear what Ethan have to say.
All right, Ethan.
Chapter 5 to me, it was basically saying.
Can you hold the mic up, Ethan?
Chapter 5 was basically saying that it's on chapter 5, verse 14.
Mhm.
And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. Basically, what that is saying that, well, basically, chapter 5, or no, as a whole, is basically if you be jealous as towards your wife or towards your husband, that's considered a sin. That's basically what chapter 5 is all about.
So you're saying that it's about sins.
So jealousy. When you're jealous, jealousy is a sin.
Yeah, that's why I said it's about sin, because the thing that I just read, it was about sins as well.
Yeah, because when you're jealous, someone,
Yeah,
then
it drives
you're,
you to do crazy things, and the crazy thing you do end up being a sin.
well, even before you do crazy things, as long as you're jealous, someone, then you're committing a sin.
Yes,
That's what that is, right?
that's what it's telling me.
So chapter 5 is all about sins and some of the things that we do as human being that is sin.
Yes.
Okay.
What about you?
I mean, the whole chapter to me, we stay on chapter 5. It's all about, as I said just now, based off of what you said too. It's all about sin. I mean, it's definitely the things that you do in life. When you pretty much envy someone else, in life, it is a sin. It is a sin. I mean, the whole chapter 5, it's just giving you different layers, and they use the reference of, say, a husband and a wife, right?
Yes.
And the jealousy, right?
Anything you can possibly do bad to your wife or husband is a sin.
Pretty much. And also, don't go to the Lord asking for forgiveness if you know you're not strong enough to not do it again. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because what would be the sense in asking for forgiveness and then go right back and do the same thing?
It's like you haven't learned your lesson. I'm gonna give you an example that you normally say to me. Who can hear, they feel. So
They-
that's exactly what's happening to them.
No, that don't fit in.
It does fit in.
No, it's not.
You can't hear, you will feel. Is
You'll
in
feel
his
you'll feel the wrath of God.
exactly.
No.
So if you go and ask for forgiveness,
And you know you're not strong enough to not do it again.
exactly,
Who can't hear, they will feel
they're
the
gonna
wrath
feel
of
the
God.
wrath of God because God is a forgiving God.
Yeah, but you can only forgive that so much.
No.
Well, we don't know how much time he could forgive, but at that point it's like you're playing with God, or you think that you are playing with God, because every time that you think you're back against the wall, that's when you want to ask for mercy. You understand?
Yeah.
That's like you're playing at that time now. So if you know that you are really and truly not ready and you're weak, and the most you could do is just ask God to let you become unweak. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That way when you do ask him for forgiveness for whatever things that, as far as the Bible say, you will be sinning on, then you know that you're strong enough not to go back there. It's like a person who every day come and they steal an orange, right? And every day they steal and steal and steal it. But they never yet go to the company or the owner of that orange and say, you know, I see you have a nice farm here. I see you have a bunch of orange here or whatever. Would you like somebody to help you do something? You understand? Where which you could then turn it into you are giving that person some assistance. In return you are getting what you want. So it's like it won't become like you're stealing anymore. You're actually working for it now. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, awesome reading again. Awesome chapter. You know, we are definitely going on a different level. See, prior to this, we were looking at the census. We were looking at the number of people that they went and count for, like when they want to go to war. So who would eligible to go to war and all of these different things.
Yes.
Now we are touching on sins.
So like it just entirely switch the topic, but not really, because war can also be counted as a sin.
Well, definitely, especially if it's a war that, you know, is something that you didn't really have to go to, you know, or go through, you know. So definitely. On that note, let me just make my closing remarks. I just want to say a big shout out to all of the first responders out there. Just want to say big up to Miss Natoya out there. She's on the battlefield. And I just want to say a big shout out to everyone in my house. Just shout out to everyone here. Shout out to you guys for reading, on a nightly basis. As I always say, I take this very serious. I like the words. I like to understand, not just having a Bible anymore, but actually studying the words and seeing different things, and just to get to understand a little bit more about, Jesus Christ, God, the Almighty, the Creator, and so that we can, move in the right direction. Even though you might be a good person by heart already, but it still could open your system. It makes you free. I know it makes me a lot of evil, and it makes me feel like a burden just lift off of my shoulder every time we read. And I get very serious about it, because I like when the fullness of we reading and actually paying attention and in the moment, get into the moment, feel that moment, leave yourself just open and just listen the words, and try to interpret the best way that you can, so then we can have some good discussion. On that note, I just want to say, everyone out there, please stay safe with this, coronavirus. We will continue to do our part over here in the Dussard house, and y'all could close it out.
And on that note, good night.
Good night,